Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thank you very much for joining me here today. We've got a massive video. We're going to talk about the 30th anniversary. It's just around the corner now. We're going to be seeing this next year, start of next year, around that sort of time. So I thought I'd make a video now just to, get it in your brain, get it ingrained in there. Make sure you can make the best choices possible going forward and what my thoughts are on the up and coming sets. But before we get into this, guys, if you want to continue showing your love and support, these will be my links, my Insta link and my eBay link. If you guys want to, check them both out, it'll only take a few seconds. Just have a little scan, on my Insta and my eBay. See what you think. I'd appreciate feedback, actually, if you want to give me some feedback down in the comments. But yeah, I appreciate everything you guys have done for me already. And yeah, I'm staying humble. So what will the new set look like? Now, obviously, we have two things to go on. We have generations and we have celebrations. So, generations, as far as I'm aware, because I was not around back then, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but they had no reprinted cards. So these were all freshly made cards, freshly designed cards. There was no reprinted cards, and there was no stamp. People liked the no stamp. I've heard mixed feelings about the stamp in celebrations, but nonetheless, they had no stamp and they had no cards reprinted. But these cards some of these chase cards have been moving recently. They have been appreciating in value. I'm assuming off the back of the 26th, the 30th anniversary coming up. Sorry. So yeah, these cards are actually really stunning cards. These obviously I picked some of the four best cards, but they are good cards nonetheless. However, what I think is going to be more, what I think is going to be a higher chance of happening is the celebrations sort of format. Now, I don't know if they'll stick with the stamp. The stamp may stay or it may go. But what I think they'll do is I think they'll stick to reprinted cards and mix it in with some new cards like they did in celebrations. So here's some of the old cards. Obviously, you guys are probably very familiar with these right now because they are absolutely exploding in value. Umbreon, Pikachu, Magikarp, Charizard stayed pretty stagnant, but these three have been popping. Yeah, they're gorgeous cards. The holofoil is obviously different. It's got the sort of very miniature cracked ice sort of pattern to it. I don't mind it, and I don't mind the stamp so much. I know people obviously have mixed opinions on the stamp, but for that reason, the stamp might go. They might get rid of the stamp. They might have hid the feedback. You don't know. So before you go in and judge based on the stamp, I think we wait and see. Obviously, in celebrations, they introduced some new cards. Some new cards that have never been seen before, same as generations, and I think they got the mix right. It was very important for them to do a mixture of old cards reprinted, so people could essentially get the cards that they wanted at a cheaper price, because some people aren't affording an original Umbreon Gold Star, okay, or a Charizard base set. It was very important for that to happen. But alongside them, they've generated some new cards that looked absolutely gorgeous. The Greninja and the Mew, namely the two. Obviously, they had all the sort of non-rare cards, the commons that were all new as well. So, in my opinion, I think they're going to do something very similar along the same lines of celebrations. However, I do think that they'll make a bigger set and they'll make illustration rares. So it's going to be very interesting to see the mixture of old cards and new illustration rares. I think that's what they'll go for, and potentially might go for something like this. Okay, we obviously saw that the Pikachu had an expanded, obviously, illustration rare or art, whatever you want to call it, from celebrations. Now, they could do something very similar with the base set starter trio, and I think that would be possible. Obviously, we see a sort of fan art here, but guys, it would be very calm, cool, and collected, and calculated by Pokemon to do something like this. I think it would sell. It would make the set sell. It'd make the set good. It would make the set very easy to collect for collectors. I think it would add value to the set. I mean, who wouldn't want the base set trio? Okay, and other Pokemon. It might not just be the base set. It might be Mudkip, Torchic. It might be those lot, but I think this would be a miss from Pokemon if they didn't do this, and I think they're smart. So I have a feeling they will pull something off very similar, if not, something like this. Okay, so moving on to potential singles, which I think have a high chance of getting into the set if they go down the reprint route, like they did for Celebrations. So we're starting with the gold stars. We obviously saw the Umbreon gold star in Celebrations, and I think it would be clever for them to do the Espeon as the counterpart. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think because Pikachu is the poster child, I think that makes a lot of sense for the 30th anniversary. Like 2025 was 5 increments is interesting, but 30 is a big number, right? 30 is 10 increment. I think they could go all out and they could drop the Pikachu Gold Star. Obviously, there was a lot of worries back in the day with people that actually already had the Gold Star card, Umbreon, that would decrease in value because of the reprint. But guys, I'm seeing none of that, right? I'm seeing contradictory views on that actually. So I think it's going up in price. I think it's driving the demand up rather than down. So yeah, I think the Mewtwo, they could also, there's other ones, the Gyarados, Groudon, Kyogre, all the other ones, all the Torchic, there's Mudkip, there's loads of other ones that they could, but I think these three probably have the highest chance. The Gyarados is probably maybe the next one, in my opinion, but yeah, I mean they're solid choices, right? And it would bolster the set as a whole, and it would make people want to buy it more. And I think Pokemon are all about extending this hype train, guys. I think they've made it very clear from what they're dropping that they are on board. They are on board about continuing this Pokemon ball run, and they are not missing sets, guys. They are not missing on the illustration. They are not missing on the artwork. They are not missing any point to pump this market at all. So I think they could do something spectacular with this 30th anniversary set. Okay, and moving on, that's why I think again you got to think counterparts. They've done the Magikarp. Are they going to go back to a different shining? Obviously, one might think Gyarados. I think Tyranitar is a huge number. I think they could put the Tyranitar in there. I think that would make a lot of sense. I think it would look cool. I think it would just go well in the set as a whole. And then obviously you have some of the newer shining Pokemon, Shiny Mew, Genesect, Arceus, those types of Pokemon that are newer, but still they hold a place in people's hearts. So I think we're going to see a run from obviously old gen to sort of a newer era as well. That's why I'm thinking some of the XY stuff. This Charizard, if you go back to the EX era, I think maybe the Dragonite on the right over here might make an appearance, or some other EX cards, maybe Rayquaza, maybe Groudon, maybe Kyogre. But also, I think XY might start creeping in now because it's the 30th anniversary. Like XY is getting old now. It's getting really old. So you've got to think maybe they put in some XY cards. The Charizard promo from Japan, I don't think that's been in English, so it would be a good chance to bring up appropriate pricing for people in English collectors to collect that card. That would make sense. Mega Gengar, any Gengar collectors, it would make sense. I know there's a Gengar full art that would look good. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of potential for this 30th anniversary, and I think a round number like increments of 10 is bigger than 5. And I think because of the success of the 25th anniversary, they printed to demand. It was perfect. They printed so much Celebrations, guys, so much. The prices of the singles were on the floor for the longest time. Like you could get some of the cards below £1, right? You could get the Reshiram and Zekrom full art for under £1. So I think they're going to print this set into the ground, and I think that singles are going to get very cheap like Celebrations did, and then we're going to see a nice run up again. So that's what I think is going to happen. That's going to take years to play out, but I think they're going to have some heavy hitters in this set, and I think overall the set will be bigger. I believe that they will expand the set size just because it wasn't as big Celebrations, and as you can see, they're doing bigger and bigger sets as they're going on. Obviously, Black and White's coming out White Flare and Black Bolt's coming out now, so that's a humongous set. We've obviously got the Mega Evolutions. That looks like a big set. So I think they're trending towards, more cards. And I do believe that this set, being the 30th anniversary, guys, I think they could fit a lot of good cards in this set. Obviously, there's some other ones like some of the Fossil Jungle. I've missed all those, but some of the vintage, what might come out. Team Rocket, Team Rocket, Dark Blastoise, Dark Charizard. Some of those cards might make an appearance. Obviously, all the jungle, like I say, jungle cards, fossil cards, Aerodactyl, those sort of cards might make an appearance. So I think they've got a lot to play with, and I think they're going to make this set a one to remember. So we've also got a very small chance that they might put some tag teams in. Okay, I just wanted to glaze upon this point because people are going wild for tag teams right now, and I do believe Pokemon they don't miss a beat. They don't miss a beat. They can see these cards getting very, very, very expensive, and it would be very cool if they made a reprint of these cards. Just some of the big hitters here in front of you now, but they have so much to choose from. But the Latias and Latios, definitely era defining card, and I think I really do think that they would miss a beat not putting that in. Obviously, might make some people angry, but for the most part, the most collectors that don't have this card, they gotta think of the people that don't have this card. If you could get this card for 50 bucks, £50, you'd be so happy, right? So happy. So, and you could enjoy it basically the same. Hopefully, the stamp doesn't annoy people, but yeah. That's what I think anyway. I think Tag Team has a huge chance of making it in there for sure. Now, I want to discuss before we go another. I don't think they're going to go as far as Sword and Shield. I think they'll probably stop at Sun and Moon, or I believe maybe Cosmic Eclipse might be the cutoff. Maybe a shiny Charizard, maybe one of the shiny Charizards from Shining Fates or Champion's Path might make it into there, because that was basically an era defining card. I think although they have been printed very heavily, so maybe they won't, but I still think it's a big card for them to put in. But with that, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy this type of content, guys, please support me. Try and give me a sub. Try and give me a like if you could. I greatly appreciate it. And let me know what you think down in the comments below about this 30th anniversary. And we'll see what happens in the future, guys. So with that, thank you for watching. I will catch you in the next one.